Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Ankura Education. Our today's topic is the Bohr atom. In our earlier discussion, we discussed about the classical model, that is the Rutherford atomic model. In that, we believed that the atom should radiate energy continuously, which is not true. This difficulty was resolved by Bohr in 1913. He postulated three laws. According to him, the atom should possess discrete energy levels, means different energy levels, and the electron does not radiate during its stationary time. That means when the electron is not moving, it doesn't radiate any energy. And the second law is the electron radiates energy only during the transition from energy level to another energy level. That means when the electron is moving from energy levels, say W1 to W2, then only the radiation between them takes place. So the frequency of radiation F is given by W2 minus W1 by H, where H is a Planck's constant, that is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joules second. And now the third one is a stationary state is described by a condition that the angular momentum of an electron should be MVR, should be an integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So MVR must be equal to NH by 2 pi, where n is an integer other than 0. For an atom, we know that the Coulomb's force of attraction between the electron and proton must be equal to the centripetal force, that is E square by 4 pi epsilon naught R square must be equal to mv square by R. From this, if we derive R, we get R is equal to E square by 4 pi epsilon naught mv square. From equation number 1, we get mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi. From here we get v is equal to nh by 2 pi mr. Let us say this as equation number 3 and this as equation number 2. If we substitute 3 in equation number 2, we get R is equal to E square by 4 pi epsilon naught into nh by 2 pi mr whole square. If we simplify this equation, we get R is equal to n square h square by pi me square. This is the radius of a stationary state. That means according to Bohr, this is the radius of the electron in its stationary state. Energy possessed by an atom in its stationary stable state is given by W is equal to minus E square by 8 pi epsilon naught R. This equation is derived from Rutherford atomic model, and also we know the derivation for this. We already discussed it. So here if we substitute R here, then we get the energy of electron according to Bohr's model. So W is equal to minus E square by 8 pi epsilon naught into R means n square h square epsilon naught by pi me square. If we rearrange this equation, we get W is equal to minus me power 4 by 8 h square epsilon naught square into 1 by n square. Let us say this as equation number 6. Thus, the energy corresponds only due to the force of attraction between the electron and the proton. Let us assume 3 discrete energy levels, that is W1, W2, W3, and the electron is revolving between these energy levels. And according to the Bohr's model, the energy radiated by the electron between any two states is not the same for all. That means W3 minus W2 is not equal to W2 minus W1. And here we are assuming that W1 is less than W2 is less than W3. For W1, we write the equation as W1 is equal to minus me power 4 by 8 h square epsilon naught square into 1 by n1 square. Similarly, for W2, we get equal to minus me power 4 by 8 h square epsilon naught square into 1 by n2 square. Now, W2 minus W1 is equal to minus me power 4 by 8 pi 8 epsilon naught square h square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So W2 minus W1 is equal to me power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square h square into 1 by n1 square minus n1 by n2 square. And we have the frequency of radiation formula as F is equal to W2 minus W1 by h. So F is equal to me power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square h square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, this total divided by h. So we get F is equal to me power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square h cube into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So this is the equation for frequency of radiation according to Bohr's model. The lowest energy state is called as the normal level or ground level, and other stationary states are called excited, radiating, critical and resonance levels. Generally, the energy of different states is expressed in electron volts rather than joules, because joules is a larger unit when compared to electron volts, and 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. So for a semiconductor atom, they possess only small energy, so we use electron volts instead of joules. And we also use wavelength radiated by the electron instead of the frequency, and the wavelength lambda is equal to c by f. This is the basic formula we know. So here lambda is equal to c by f, and we know that f is equal to W2 minus W1 by h, where h is the Planck's constant, that is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joules second, and c is the velocity of light, that is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 10 centimeter per second, and f is the frequency of radiation, and lambda is the wavelength, and W1 and W2 are the energy levels in joules, energy joules. Now let us assume that E1 and E2 are the energies in electron volts. So the expression for frequency can be written as E2 minus E1 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 divided by h, if the electron energy is in electron volts. So from that we have lambda is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 10 by E2 minus E1 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 divided by h. By simplifying the above expression, we get lambda is equal to 12,400 by E2 minus E1 angstroms. Here lambda is measured in angstroms, and 1 angstrom is equal to 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeters or 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. And E1 and E2 are the energy levels in electron volts. An electron can be in the excited state only for a small period of time, that is 10 to the power of minus 7 to 10 to the power of minus 10 seconds, which is very small. That is the time taken by the electron to be in the excited state, and after that it return back to its original state. When such a transition occurs, the electron will lose energy and equals to the difference of energy levels, that is E2 minus E1. This loss of energy of the atom results in radiation of light. The frequency of emitted radiation is given by F is equal to E2 minus E1 by h. This is the frequency of emitted radiation. According to classic theory, it was believed that atoms continuously radiate energy. This is not true. Radiation energy is in the form of photons takes place only when the electrons transit from higher energy level to the lower energy level. higher to lower, then only there is an emission of photon. That means photon radiation takes place. This will not occur if this transition is from lower to higher, because if such transmission takes place, then the number of photons liberated is very large, which is not possible. Which is not possible means that means it is not practically possible. Now let us solve this problem by using the above formulas. Consider for a given 50 watt energy vapor lamp, 0.1% of the electric energy supplied to the lamp appears in UV line is lambda is equal to 2537 angstroms. Now calculate the number of photons per second of this wavelength emitted by the lamp. So let us enter into the solution. We know that lambda is equal to 12,400 by E2 minus E1, where lambda is the wavelength and E1 E2 are in electron volts, energy levels in electron volts. Given that lambda is equal to 2537 angstroms, and we have to find E2 minus E1. Okay. So from the formula we can write E2 minus E1 is equal to 12,400 by 2537. If we solve this, we get 4.88 electron volts per photon. Given that 0.1% of 50 watt, 0.1% of 50 watt energy supplied to the lamp. Supplied to the lamp is 0.1% means 0.1 by 100 into 50 is equal to 0.05 watts. We can take this also as 0.05 joules per second, because 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second. So converting this into the electron volts, we get 0.05 joules per second divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules per electron volt. That must be equal to 3.12 into 10 to the power of 17 electron volts per second. This is the total energy of all the photons liberated in the lambda, that is 2537 angstroms. Now the number of photons emitted per second is equal to total energy by energy for photon. Total energy by energy for photon. From the above expressions we have 3.12 into 10 to the power of 7 electron volts per second by energy for photon is 4.88 in electron volts per photon. So we get 6.4 into 10 to the power of 16 photons per second. That means we can say the lamp emits 6.4 into 10 to the power of 16 photons per second for wavelength of lambda is equal to 2537 angstroms. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please do like, share and subscribe to my video. Thank you.